One up. Hello. Whoops, that caught everybody by surprise, didn't it? Everybody's going, what happened? I thought the stream went dead. It did. But what can I say? It's Saturday morning and Fran's not here. So I thought, well, after all the work that everybody's done, you know, be a shame to just let it die off when it's only a question of 2 hours. Sure, I can keep it going for 2 hours whilst I'm doing the washing up, getting ready. Cut myself shaving again. So and essentially just I thought, well, I'm not going to be here much, what with what's going up with my dad. So I thought I might as well pop in and say hello to you guys. It's so early in the morning, there's no one about. I'm on my own. This is the longest I've been on my own for ages. See what I'm there for a bit, see if it dries off. Hello Andy, how are you? Nice to see you, Andy. It's getting claret everywhere. A bit more blood on the sink. I don't know, getting ready in the morning for me, nightmare. Absolute bloody nightmare. Sit that up there. Right. How's your dad? Well, he's a little bit better, thank you, Andy. Washing. He's a little bit better. He's still a bit confused, state and all that. And we're trying to get up there over the next few days. I've got to start looking for, I need to look for a place now. Like, I need to look for a, whoops, we need socks. We need to look for a place to stay. I got, a few offers of both from here actually and family, obviously. Saying, yeah, come and stay over a night or two and bring the dog, but I'm likely to go up there for about a week. And I don't fancy descending on someone and invading their house for a whole week, not with a dog, it's not fair. So, I'm going to try and sort it out a little bit better than that, and perhaps, just a sec, I just got to put my socks on, just a little bit better than that, and then perhaps what we'll do, we'll rent a house, make it a lot easier. So I just got to try and find somewhere around Bedford, but it's the time and everything takes bloody time, doesn't it? I've got to find a place now, search for that. We'll probably do that tomorrow. Get cleared up, housework. Stuff like that. Come on. That's it. Can't see a bloody thing. Put slippers on. Hello, a couple of people just joined. That almost looks like Nanny Sue's logo, but glasses, where's your glasses? Take the cup. Dirty washing. They're clean. They ain't. Put my glasses on in a second, I can see what everybody's saying. I'm just daft, innit? I'm getting ready, getting dressed while I'm on camera. But I just thought, you know, it was a shame. I literally just turned the phone on to find out that Butch and Noncon were just coming off. And they've been on all night and they were quite knackered, it seems. They literally couldn't stay awake for another couple of hours, and I'm not surprised. They've done an awful lot. You know, we ought to be really grateful to them, really, which I am. And so I thought, well, all right, as long as I've got my trousers on and my bum and bits covered, then you wouldn't mind if I come on whilst I'm getting ready and doing me washing up and doing me jobsies and that kind of thing. Got to blow my nose now. Of course, I can answer any questions anybody might have while I'm on. The blood. Right then, let's see who we've got to say good morning to. Who are we going to say good morning to that should know better? Hey, who is it now? James Pond. Hello, James. Where are you off to? Well, I'll be going to Bedford to see my dad. Looking for glasses, hooked on him. Oh, yeah. What, Wally? And I couldn't see you telling me that because I didn't have them on. I don't know. Hooked on him. Silly. I will have a look. Is that the ones with... oh, yeah. How, Luna? You've been up all night as well? Taking bets on how long it takes him to find the glasses attached to his shirt. That was funny. Well done. Kian, now there's a bloke I've been waiting to see. You haven't been sent more volunteers, Gruffalos yet, Kian. And the reason you haven't been sent them is because I can't add you to WhatsApp. Because as I told you some time ago, there's something wrong with your phone number. So now you need to WhatsApp me. Otherwise I can't send them. Everybody else has had theirs, but I haven't added you to the group yet, and you haven't got them, and you can't put them out because I haven't got a proper phone number for you. Or there's a digit missing, or there's something wrong with the phone number, but I've tried adding it and it won't have it. So I just want to make sure that you understand, and so you can text me. All you've got to do is text me by WhatsApp. And then when you've done that, make sure you go onto the site and correct the number on the site, because whatever the number is on the site, it ain't right, mate. You know? So you've got to sort that out. Now, if you get that sorted and you get me texted over the weekend, I'll get them out to you Monday, Tuesday, I'll get them out to you. Hello, what happened there? It's all right for a minute, it's not bleeding. You found them. Ha, yeah, I did. Just got up and saw you was on. Oh, that's nice, Lorna. You not got yourself in the shower yet? I was in the shower when I literally saw them come off. Got my daughter dressed as a Gruffalo. Yeah, I've got to see that video. I haven't seen it yet. Tea or coffee? For me, first thing in the morning, James, got to be a cup of tea. I've got to have a cup of tea and then I've got to take all my tablets. I'm not a volunteer. I see. Okay, I'll scratch you off the list. You have been put forward as a volunteer, so you must have emailed, because there's no way John would put you down as a volunteer if you hadn't asked to be one. So you must have at some point. But even so, I'm going to need you to log on to the site, Kian, and fix your phone number, because your phone number's not right. So please go onto the site and fix your phone number. Don't risk it getting suspended or anything. You know what I mean? Because it will do. Things like that have been giving John the hump lately. And he threw a customer off, and I actually said to him, well, ain't that a bit strong? But he was having a bad day and he considered that they'd abused the system, so he threw him off. Another Kian, maybe? No, I've only got the one Kian. It's an unusual name, and I'd remember that if I had someone else. So it's just the easiest thing to do, Kian, is just go on and fix it, mate. That's it, job done. So all you got is me. You know, I'll talk about coins if you want, but this ain't no... Whee! I haven't done this for I would volunteer, but I'm not old enough. How old are you, Kian? How old are you then? Right, start the ritual. Like everybody else in my position. We'll have the ritual on the bloody tablets that keep you alive. Still, that sounded like a moan, and it shouldn't be, because I'm grateful for the tablets that keep me alive. So it's not a moan. 14. Couple of our volunteers are about 15. See, with me, trust is trust, Kian. You've got a good measure of us now. You've been around a little while. And at the age of 14, you've had some good deals. I bet you've earned a few quid. We've had that one. Aspirin. So, I don't mind you doing it at 14. Do I mind you doing it at 14? Is there any legal reason why you can't? I shouldn't think so. Because I'm giving them to you to put in, so you ain't even paying for them. The only thing that would make anything wrong about you joining our site would be two things. One, if you ever abuse the system, but that applies to anybody, 14 or 40, doesn't make any difference how old you are. But the one that does make a difference is if you ever buy anything and use a card, we have no idea whether your parents have given permission or not. So that's on you. You have to, you know, we tell you if you're underage, and you use your parents' card or whatever, you've got to let them know. You've got to talk to them. We don't mind you being a member of the site, but you've got to talk to them. You can't use your parents' cards without permission. Other than that, I don't see any reason. Don't think anybody else does either. Otherwise, they'd punch it up. Anybody else see anything wrong with a 14-year-old putting the coins into a machine? As long as they do it properly. There you go. No one said a word, see? No problem my end, exactly, see? No one's going to have a problem with it as long as you play the game properly. You know? That's why you've been allowed to join in the games. Because you play properly. And you've seen what happens to people that don't play properly. They're not allowed to stick around and play games. That's the tablets. Right, that's the tablet bit over with. Now we've got cup of tea bit, and then we've got Jobs's bit. Now, depending on what we've had the night before, depends on how I feel about the Jobses. I mean, see, there are certain dinners, every man washer upper knows. There are certain dinners that we enjoy having made for us and cooked for us, and that are easy to wash up. So they become men's favourite dinners. And then there are dinners that we like because they're really nice, but they're a pig to wash up. And even though they're nice, they become a man's not favourite dinners. It comes with a load of work. And last night's dinner was one of them, Greek chicken. But when she makes Greek chicken, some of the dishes are like having a roast dinner, especially the metal pan. It's an oven dish. Scrambled egg dyes my tree. Scrambled egg dyes my tree in washing up. Scrambled egg does my tree in washing up. Does what to your tree in the washing up? Louise, are you still drunk from last night? You've been out and had a beer with Warren. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. What's the matter with you, Louise? So I'm just, hello, Angela. I'm just doing my jobsies. It's just that the stream died, and I mean, I don't expect any of you lot to sit here and talk to me. You know, you might have Saturday morning things to do. It's just that, oh, how could I just happened to turn it on, and how could I just not come on when I heard them say that they were too knackered to continue, and it's only 2 hours. So I thought, well, get on, just pull your trousers on so they don't see your knickers, and then get it on. So I did. I've cut myself again. I think we better leave that for a minute. It's congealing, which is a good thing. Have your cup of tea. Have me cup of tea. And then stay in my ear, look. I need a haircut, get my eyebrows done. Look all handsome again. Oh, smoke to go with the tea. Oh, I've got nothing to put the phone on. Oh. What am I going to rest the phone on, you Wally? I know. How long are you live for? Till all you lot switch off, I reckon. Till they come on. Till someone tells me they come on. I think there's someone on about 12. I've got my teacher coming today. So we were going to go on early, but there's someone. There's not a slot until 5 o'clock, and I don't think I'm going to be able to manage 5 o'clock. So, just for this couple of hours, I think. And my number had a gap in it, so that might have made a difference. It might have. What I'd like you to do, though, because I've had this issue with yours a couple of times, is I want you to text me. You've got my number. Send me a text. Send me a text and say, this is Kian. I don't mean send me a text for the Gruffalo. If you want to do the Gruffalo, then WhatsApp me if you want to do the Gruffalo, if you want to put them out. Otherwise, just send me a text so I know that the number's working. That's all. Just a quick hi to the big chief as I'm in work. Oh, bless you, Marie. That's very nice of you. John G is on 12. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, John Gamble on at 12 o'clock. So that's all right. So we just give him Just give him plenty of time to do what he's doing. I'll have a cup of tea. Can't have a fag because we're now live. Yeah, so, oh no. It's going to run, isn't it? I think we better put something on that. So at least I can use the camera as a mirror. I'm not going to be about much. Trying to make arrangements to go up and see my dad. I've got to go up to Bedford, so I've got to rent a house. I don't know why that's scratched. It's only a little nick with a razor. Wouldn't normally bleed. It's only because I'm on the tablets. Pardon me. Ian Coinstar receipt is in the post. Recorded delivery. Oh, you didn't need to do that. Those Gruffalo battered my head. You will see why when you watch the video. Thank you, Louise. And what you're supposed to do is wet your finger and do that. And the reason you're supposed to wet your finger is so your finger don't stick. And then when you pull your finger off, it bleeds again. 6 tries to feed them all in. Wow. What a pain. No, I know you can't type. Yeah, no, I'm talking to John G. He said he will come on a bit early if you want him to. He's on for 5 hours anyway. Bless him. No, it's all right. It's only, what's the time? 10 o'clock? Only a couple of hours. It was fun though. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You can just be around while I'm doing my housework. Although I won't put the Hoover on. I can't put the Hoover on. Oh, I've got to fix the Hoover. The Hoover's broke. Medication due. Must go into the app and mark it that I've had my medication. Just keep it going a bit. See, I think we might be there. Wow, did you see that trailer that Matt did? That was something else. Shocked me right at the beginning. So when I pressed play, it was like, whoa. I didn't expect that. Mind you, I don't suppose anybody did you? But in case anybody's wondering, I had no editorial control over that, as it were. I just let Matt asked me if he could do it, and I said yes, and I just let him go where his creativity took him, really. Quite a powerful trailer, though, I thought. It made me giggle, made me cry, so made me remember. I wanted to send a receipt. Ephemera receipts are going to be worth a mint. I think so. what happening at the start of the video. Yeah, it's a bit difficult, that one. That's the bit that got me, that was, Andy. So, excuse me. So, that was the seizure. Now, why is there a seizure video even there? Like I say, Matt picked that and picked that clip, I suppose, to show where I started from, I imagine. But that's the seizures, and the reason that I've got my seizure videos on YouTube anyway, which is where Matt got them from, is only because I was under a seizure specialist and I got Fran to, yeah, it was hard hitting, and got Fran to video me, and then took it to the doctors to say, look, you're a specialist, you're a seizure specialist. I thought might be a good idea to show you the actual seizure. There you go. Fran's videoed it. This is my seizure. Can you now tell me what's causing it, what it is? And I'm thinking he's going to take one look at the video and go, oh yeah, I know what that is. So-and-so's had that, whatever. But he took one look at the video and he went, I've never seen anything like it. So I was like, oh, nice. What are you doing? What are you going to do then? So the only other thing I could think of doing was, well, if the doctors haven't seen a seizure like it, what am I going to do? How am I going to find out? So I thought, I know, I'll put it up on YouTube. Maybe one day someone will have a look at that and they'll go, ah, that's a seizure I have, or that's the seizure Uncle Bert has, or whatever. And someone will come forward and say so. It's been seen 2,000 times. No one's ever come forward. Pardon me. But, you know, we live in hope, don't we? I mean, I don't know any other way of finding out. The doctors are baffled. Normally with a seizure, you're not allowed to drive. Well, I had to give my license up, and you're not allowed to apply to have it back until you've had a year of no seizures. But because of the fact that they don't know what's causing mine, and so on, then I'm under a different rule and I'm not allowed to apply for 2 years. So I have to be seizure free for 2 years. I'm coming up to about a year now. I haven't had one for about a year. Last one I had was in the hospital. Funny enough. Right then, you lucky girls. I've got a little saying for you you're going to be ever so chuffed with. Yes. You're going to get to see a man do something you don't get to see a man do very often. Yes. Be riveted to your seat, you will. Because that's a washing up bottle. Ian, I have roses to my doctor, never seen them before. Morning, Javid. Saw your one this morning. So, girlies, guess what you're going to see? No, I'm not putting my trousers down. You're going to see a man wash up. And you lucky. See a man do his jobsies. Trust me. That's the last thing you want to see. Right. Got right into these food waste things. I do waste a lot of water. It's one thing I'm very guilty of. Can't wash up unless I rinse everything. I like to wash up in clean water. Another walk. Because we have to go out. Oops. That's where I live. Don't know how much of that you saw. What happened here? Did you actually? Could you hear what was going on, or did the screen just freeze? Ian, I have those type of seizures. My doctor has never seen those type of fits before. Oh wow, okay. Ah, me and you need to talk then. Wow. Yeah, there's a couple of them on there. I've got a couple of them on there if you want to have a look at them. They're not nice to look at, but just to make sure that they're the same stuff. What are you on? That's the thing. What are they giving you? Stuck loopy, run away from. Oh, the screen froze. Okay. Okay, that was right, water. So that was my stepmum. I was answering the phone. The phone went, and that's why I was asking what happened, or whether or not it froze the screen. But it was my stepmum calling me. Doctor's there now, and he wants to take him into hospital, but my dad doesn't want to die in hospital, and they think. Well, I said to her that I'm doing everything that I can to get up there as fast as I can, and I should be up there within a couple of days. And her words were, "You might not have enough time." She doesn't think he's got a couple of days, neither does the doctor. And I've said that about my dad so many times. And he's pulled through, and he's pulled through, and he's pulled through. I mean, Jesus, you think I've been resilient? Oh my goodness, what my old man's been through. But what can you do? But anyway, so that's the situation. The situation is I've got to get up there as fast as I can. That means trying to get up there today even. I ain't going to be today because Fran ain't back until tonight. So tonight, maybe tomorrow. Try and get up there for tomorrow maybe. But I've got to find somewhere tonight now. I've got to try and find and I'm not very good at that kind of searching. To be honest, Fran normally does it. But what I've got to do is I've got to essentially find an house. You know, where you can go and rent holiday. That's what we tend to do. I know they label them as holiday houses and all of that because you go and you rent it for 2 weeks or whatever, like we did in Scotland. But that's what we tend to do with the dog, because I just can't stand putting them in kennels. And the last time I used a kennel, I don't think they treated them right. Just wasn't happy with how my dog was at the time, and I said I'll never use another kennel. And besides which, Casper spent 6 months in a cage before we got him. So once we got him, even though he doesn't understand the word, and I know it's silly, but I just sort of swore to him that I'll never stick him in a cage again. So, and that's what a bloody thing he is. Try Airbnb. Well, we tried Airbnb once before. We'll have a look, but we tried it before, and they were really expensive. I found Airbnb to be more expensive than the local hotel. So, you know, go figure. don't know what all that's about. I'll look at the comments in a second. I can't do it with wet hands. And let's get this done. Get this done at least. That's one job out of the way, and I'll get on with the searching. Do you know what I need? I need somebody here that can do all the searching for me so I can get on and do the packing. Let's get my stuff packed. Don't know how long I've got to pack for, a week, fortnight. I don't know how long I'm going to be away, so please let people know that, you know, it's one of those where we haven't exactly got a definitive. She obviously thinks he's gonna pass away within the next day or so. And like I say, you know, if Sally thinks that, I put up a video on my Facebook yesterday for the family, and it was mentioned to me last night. You know, I may very well have egg on my face telling everybody that he's this poorly, you know, like crying wolf. Yes, I don't care. I don't care if he pulls through and they call me they call me names for a long time to come, scaremongering or whatever, I don't care. Sally doesn't think he's going to last, that's enough for me. What she says. I've got to spend a few hours now looking for a house. Anyone out there got nothing to do? I doubt it. None of us have got nothing to do, have we? On the other hand, you could wake up, you could look outside and you could go, oh, what a beautiful morning. Because it's not exactly bad out there, is it? Nearly there. Bet this is exciting for you girls, isn't it? Eh? What just happened there? I can't see. Rubbish. I'll have a look in a minute. Whatever that was, thank you very much. I will put that towards the trip. I was going to say, I bet you girls have enjoyed yourself, haven't you? Had a right old time watching a man wash up. I sound like a chauvinist, don't I? I do that. I'll let you know a little secret. I do it a lot. I do it an awful lot, and it winds Fran up something terrible. Because she knows I'm not a chauvinist, and I pretend to be one. So when she's got her friends, or we're talking to people or whatever, I'll say things, you know. like the woman belongs in the kitchen, the man belongs in the garden, you know, things like that. I don't believe it, of course. I mean, I am a chauvinist in the sense that, you know, all of the cooking is done by Fran, absolutely. But it's not a chauvinist in the sense that, like, my dad and my uncle's era from where they came from, like the woman belonged in the kitchen, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not one of those. I never agreed with that when I was a kid, that way of being. But because I'm not a chauvinist, I do like to wind people up that get overly sensitive about this kind of thing. So, like, there's a friend of Fran's that comes round, bless her, Wendy, lovely lady, but she is, you make one single comment that could be considered, what was the word I just used that was derogatory to women, that could be considered, what was that word I just used? Chauvinistic. Things like that, right? You come out with one word and she's on you. She's on you. Straight away. You know? And so I just play to that. And so I do it more. So I'll make a chauvinistic joke, or I'll make a crack, something like, you know, Fran's job is in the kitchen, and the only reason it's Fran's job in the kitchen is because she makes a better job than I do, and I make a better job of grafting in the garden that she does, and we have a nice little arrangement. But she gets fed up with it every now and again, gets upset and says, oh, it'd be nice if I could come home and you'd cook for me now and again, and I agree with her. That's why I made a shepherd's pie the other night, first one I've done in a few years. So we've got to do some more of that. I'm going to teach you like how to make shepherd's pie, I am. I'm going to teach you how to make Ian's one, because then it's nice. Freeze it up, nice, few dinners. You'll love it. Put that there. Stick a kettle back on. See, it's what a man's entitled to when he's done the washing up. He's entitled to putting a bit of a kettle on. Right, let's see. What happened here? James Pond. Oh, pardon me. Bless you, James. That is so kind of you. That really is so kind of you. I'm going to put that towards the trip, if that's right with you. Morning, Warren. Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Especially when I try not to think about it too much. I can just feel myself well up in an instant, really. My boyfriend cooks and I do the cleaning up afterwards. Yeah, it's not a bad arrangement, is it? You know, I think I always like to play to people's strengths and weaknesses. Well, one of my weaknesses is cooking. One of my strengths is doing the rest of the graft. I don't mind getting stuck in. Well, I can't now, but now I have to pay a handyman. But, you know, I didn't care. I used to enjoy going out in the garden, getting stuck in and digging it up and chopping it down and all of that stuff I can't do anymore for a while. Anyway. Hope you like the latest newsletter. I haven't seen it yet. Hello, Ron. I haven't seen it myself yet. I know one's come in. But, yeah, so if that's all right with you, James, that was very kind of you. It was unnecessary, honestly, but that was very kind of you and very touching, and I'll put that towards a trip. I'll buy me and lunch, me and Fran, a bit of lunch on our way up with that. And then, when we have it, I'll make sure I think of you. Like, I'll mention you to You know what I mean when you have it. It's be like, oh yeah, this is on James. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Yeah, I only jumped on, Warren. I hope I haven't messed your book up or anything. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the 5 o'clock one like I thought. So when he gets here, because he's coming round here between 11 and 12, so what I'm going to say to him is, we'll just have a chat, and we'll just have some chat. Sorry about that. That was again, now the phone went again. Now I have to go back here. I'm going to get a load of Ian Reid above James Pond. Oh yeah, got that, thank you. We'll work around you. That's very kind of you, Warren. But don't let me mess you about, do you know what I mean? I did crash, the phone went again. That was Stuart, the guy that was coming around that we were going to go on together with. CJ Naive. You know, wouldn't be in without a freeze. And yeah, I know, all my streams freeze. Trust Ian to balls the channel up. I don't know. I don't know. What are we going to do, eh? What are we going to do? Excuse me. Life. What part of Bedford do you need to stay? Kempston is where my dad is. Doesn't really matter where we stay, to be honest, because my dad's in Kempston, my mum is in Peterborough with my other brother Russell, and my brother Nick is in Letchworth Garden City. So if you you've got Bedford, then you go down a bit like that to Letchworth Garden City, or you go up a bit like that to Peterborough. So that's where I'm going to be aiming for, around there. Will you still have Churchill Crown set in a week? Oh, you mean that those 5, that set of 5 crowns that we do? Yeah. Yeah. And if anybody doesn't know, bank payments are coming off at the end of the month. No more bank payments at the end of the month. It's actually, there's too many people paying in, there's too many people paying small amounts of money through bank transfer, and it's turning into a bit of a nightmare, really. You know, we never put, I mean, maybe that's our fault, we never put a limit on it. Perhaps we should have done. Perhaps we should have just said, look, you know, no bank payments less than 25 quid or something. Perhaps we should have done that, but we didn't. We just sort of left it up to everybody, and unfortunately what happens is, you know, we end up getting like £1.80 and £3.60, and it's all coming by bank transfer. And you know, and then John's sitting there and he's going, really? Like, someone's just paid £3.60 here. Do you really expect me to take the time to log into the account and give them 9 times points on 3 quid? And it's starting to get to him a bit. But then it will, you know, things like that will. It's not because the issue is such a big thing, you know, and some of it for us is not because the issue is necessarily such a big thing. But he's quite right when he, you know, when only at times where he'll get the ump or something will he say something like this. But, you know, he'll get the ump sometimes and he'll go, really? I'm 60 odd years old. I've got stage 4 lung cancer. Do I really want to be doing this? I can't be bothered. And when he, you know, when he gets a little bit fed up and he's on a bit of a downer day, and then things like that are winding him up, there's nothing I'm going to say. Nothing whatsoever I'm going to say. Because he's absolutely right, of course. It's just that in a normal course of a day, normal week, he doesn't let it bother him as much. You know, but every now and again, it will get to him. So I just said, look, John, it's got to be a lot easier, mate. Why don't I just cancel the diet? Why don't I just cancel the bank payments? If that's causing you too much aggravation, why don't I just cancel them? And he thought about it and he went, yeah, all right then. So that's what we're going to do. So no more bank payments at the end of the month. Thank you, Angela. You take care. I live just near Peterborough. Whereabouts, Ron? I mean, I know I've got your address. I've only got to look it up online. But I mean, what area? Are you in? Live near Peterborough? You sort of Wisbeach Way, Spalding Way? There's somebody up in Spalding I've got to see. Oh, that's Mick. I used to live in Spalding. Spalding Way. I used to live in Spalding. Mick lives up near there. There's a school there, Holbeach. Yeah, no, it will. No, it will. I come from up there. I've spent 20, 30 years in Peterborough. Let's let Casper out. Yeah, a lot of Holbeach, George Farmer. I went there. Okay. I know, we spoke before about Steve Pavett and that. Oh, right. Okay. I've probably forgotten that conversation, but I do remember Steve Pavett. And I remember him because we did a deal and he reneged on that deal. I set him up in wheel clamping with the clamps and signs and everything else that I had, and chains and padlocks and everything else. We had a deal that I would have a small part of it. I only wanted a small part of it, not a lot. And he never paid me a penny. I was shocked about that bank transfer availability, and as almost all do Visa or PayPal. Yeah, we try to make it easier for customers as much as we can all the way along, as well as ourselves. And we really only did the bank payments because of the investments, to be fair. That's only where the bank payments come from. And then we tried to be like even more fair and say, well, it's, you know, what about people that ain't paying by investment? They're going to think, you know, they're losing out. So we tried to extend it and do that, but it's not working. And what is it I always say? If you don't like the taste, don't suck it again. Have a little suck, have a little taste. If you don't like it, don't do it again. Hello, Lisa. Nice to see you too. Visa and PayPal, yeah. Yeah, most people only do Visa and PayPal, but we don't do PayPal because we fell out with them. So they're a bunch of crooks. Total bunch of crooks, PayPal are. Not frightened to say that. You know, anyone that's got a PayPal account, anybody that's had a PayPal account and never really never come up against any issues with PayPal, if we can call it that. You've never come up against any issues in inverted brackets. They are Caspers. Let me tell you this. If you like some nightmare horror stories to go to bed with, being as it's still around the Halloween area, right? And you've never, ever, ever experienced an issue with PayPal, let me tell you, all you've got to do is do a bit of Googling. Google PayPal sucks. Google PayPal and a word just as rubbish, offensive, whatever. And I promise you, you will find so many articles. There used to be a company, probably still is, called PayPal Sucks. And about 15 years ago, people were so angry at PayPal and what was happening that they used to put PayPal Sucks and no PayPal logos on their websites and their listings, and on eBay listings. No PayPal they used to put. And then eBay changed it and said, you got to use PayPal. Use PayPal or you're off. And you know, there's quite a huge movement against PayPal. We have counties over here, right? The Americans have states. We have counties. Same thing, right? Ish. And now, there are certain states. So imagine a county like Shropshire or Cambridgeshire, right? States taking PayPal to court. Actual states. So the equivalent of a county. Cambridgeshire County Council taking PayPal to court on behalf of its residents. Things like that. It's just the English are a bit slow, you know. I tried to educate the banks 20 years ago on PayPal. Nobody was interested. Nobody was talked to me. Too far ahead of my time for all of that. You know, ha ha ha. PayPal are just an internet thing. They're never going to bother the banks. They're just an internet. And PayPal have slowly cornered a huge percentage of the market. And now they do loans and everything as well. So everything you can get from a bank, you can get from PayPal. Except PayPal can bring the shutters down just like that. Just like that. Off. 29 grand in our account when they did that. Boom. Let the money keep coming in, but don't let you take it out. So you have to keep posting the goods out. And we had to post thousands and thousands and thousands. It's happened to us about 4 times where they froze our account. And we had to continue posting because the customers don't know that your account is frozen. So when you have customers come along and buy from you, they don't know. They just come along, they buy off eBay, they've paid the money, £5, they want it there. You know, you go back to them and say, well, actually, you've paid the £5, and I know you've paid the £5, but I haven't got the £5, so I can't send you the goods. Imagine trying to have that conversation with people. You can't. You can't do that. They can hold your money for 180 days. Once they bring the shutters down and they close your account, 180 days they hold your money for. We took them to court and the judge would not make them give us the money any earlier. Even the judge didn't understand the terms and conditions and all the rest of it, you know. So we had to wait 180 days to get our money out of it. Excuse me, 180 days, nothing you can do. And you had, and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. And you have to keep posting off the goods, posting off the goods, posting off the goods all the time, posting off the goods. So be very careful with PayPal. My advice to everybody is, because everybody likes to leave money in PayPal, which does make sense. You get paid into PayPal and then you want to buy something. My advice is don't leave any more than 50 or 100 quid in there. In fact, don't leave anything in there. You know, don't leave anything in there at all. Draw every penny out as it comes in. And when you buy stuff, buy it, use PayPal, but pay with your card, right? So get all your money out of PayPal and stop doing that business where you leave money in PayPal. I'll leave some money in there because there'll be things I want to buy and I'll just leave a bit in there. Dangerous. Don't do it. That's my advice. Don't do it. Don't leave a single penny in PayPal. Draw out everything. You know, pick yourself a limit. Go, right, anything, because save you drawing out like 10 times a day. So just think to yourself, right, if I get business coming daily, I'll draw it out once a day. You know, if I get, if I'm getting several £100 coming, and draw it out a couple of times a day. But don't leave your money in there, it's too risky. There's not a single high street bank that can close your account like that and just take the money that's in it. But they're not governed by the same laws, so they do what they like. If the terms and conditions of your business, terms and conditions of your business, if PayPal don't like it, then PayPal just overrule it. Your terms and conditions don't count. I had that conversation with them once. No, your terms and conditions, they contravene our terms and conditions, so your terms and conditions don't count. And they won't have it. That company has sent more businesses to the cleaners than eBay. eBay is a close second, but PayPal have sent more people to the cleaners, have sent more people bust than any other business in this country. There isn't another business in this country or on the internet that I know of that has sent more people bust than PayPal and eBay. People can spend years and years and years building up their businesses, and in the time it takes to switch off a light bulb, it's gone. Thank you, Kian. Now I gotcha. Thank you, Kian. I will add you to the group, and I will get that done on Monday, and it will go out to you Monday or Tuesday. And you'll be putting them out. Anyone else that's not put out, that's not been one of the volunteers, and you want to become one of the volunteers, just WhatsApp me. I've still got a couple of spaces left, and what I'm going to do from now on is I'm not going to do what we've done and say, right, we're going to put out the Peter Rabbits, anybody want to volunteer? We're going to put out the Gruffalos, anybody want to volunteer, and all that. Now I've built the WhatsApp group and everything for the volunteers. I'm going to use the same ones. So it'd be a lot easier. We just use the same volunteers every single time, you know. As time goes on, there'll be more and more people come forward that will want to do it, and they won't be able to because we'll have our set list of volunteers that are doing it. And all the people that are doing it, we know we trust them because they've done it once or twice already. So that's what we're going to be doing. They're extremely devious. I mean, it was just, you know, eBay was the car boot sale, and PayPal essentially was the local payment processor, the bank. eBay made so much money, they bought the bank. The car boot sale earned so much money, it bought the bank, lock, stock and barrel. And that's why you have to have a PayPal account. But the Americans won't stand for that, you know. So so there was a lot of kerfuffle over in America, and the American people will tell you there's a lot of kerfuffle over there. And now you can have an eBay account in America without having a PayPal account, because so many Americans are anti-PayPal because they've ripped so many people off and so many people have lost money. So now you can have an eBay account in America without a PayPal account, but you can't in England. Not until, it should have been this year, but it's likely to be, apparently it's booked for next year. And then they go down a similar system to Amazon, whereby buyers will pay them and then they pay the buyer. They pay the seller. With Amazon, you get paid every 2 weeks, something like that, for all the business that's come in for the last 2 weeks. Because people pay Amazon, they don't pay the sellers, you know. And they're going to go for a similar system like that, I think. But it's not going to happen until next year. And we had 35,000 listings, so gone, just like that. And you have to deal with that, you know. And you're trying to, thing is, you're trying to set up a small business, little cottage industry from home. You know, you need to transact, you need to take money. But if there is any way you can transact your business without using PayPal, my suggestion is to do it. PayPal are heading for a big fall. They are going to get done. Sooner or later they'll get done, and they'll get fined, and they'll get fined hundreds of millions. But they've got away with it for a long time. They've got away with it for more than 20 years in this country. Hello, JD Slots and Gambling Videos. Nice to see you. They've got away with it a lot in this country. They've got away with it a lot around the world. You know, and the amount of money it adds up to, oh, you're talking of hundreds of millions. Oh, fortunes, absolute fortunes is what they've stolen from people. Hello, Susie. Nice to see you too. Yeah, so I wouldn't use PayPal again unless I was forced to. And I'd have to be forced to use them. And this day and age, you know, depending on what you're doing, you perhaps don't need to, because there are so many companies now offering card payments and ways for you to take card payments manually and over the phone. You know, there's loads and loads of companies now advertising that. Fran just uses one and it's so much easier for her. You know, she just gets the little square machine out and people can pay by card. It's job done. It's in her bank within a few days. There's a lot of people competing for that business now, and they're competing against PayPal. So it would be good to see them take over a lot of the business and PayPal to lose a lot of the business, because they've been absolute terrible crooks. But don't take my word for it. Just search PayPal sucks. And you'll see myself. Matt's coins. It upsets me, that video at the start, but then you see how far Ian has come. Hats off to you, Ian. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Matt's coins. It made me cringe. I had no idea. What I knew was that Matt was going to do it. Ian, do you want me to send calendar pics to the usual Addy? What are we going to do about these calendar pics? I've forgotten what I was talking about then, but what we're going to do about these calendar pics. Pardon me. Yeah, if you send them to TGBCH, right, but put FAO John calendar pics, just shows that he would then, he'd instantly see it in the subject line and he knows what it is, if he's got to look for it as well, search for it. You know, thank you, Stevie B, nice to see you, mate. But yeah, do it that way. And then that way, they'll be easily spotted. FAO John calendar pics, capital letters, subject line. That'll be perfect. That will help. Don't need to put any messages really, just need to put pictures in. But yeah, Matt's coins, that was, what happened was, I got talking to Matt. I saw something that Matt did, and I said, you know what would be a great idea, Matt? I said, if someone was to take the time, if I could get someone to take the time, put a documentary together for all the clips. And he said he could do that. And so I said, yeah, all right then, that sounds good. He said, now this is only within the last 48 hours, right? Got, you know, and he said, okay, what I'll do is I've got an idea for a trailer. I'll put a trailer together and I'll have a little look, see what we can do. And then the next thing I knew, 24 hours later, he sent me that trailer and he said, what do you think? And when I played it, I wanted to turn it off instantly. You know, I didn't want to see the rest. I just saw that first few seconds and I thought, oh, that really hit me hard watching those first few seconds. And it sort of almost, I thought, went on for too long. The clip, I mean, not the seizure. Can't do anything about the seizure, but the clip itself. I thought Matt had maybe put too long a clip in there, and maybe it could do with half a clip, because the way that I felt watching it was that I think I felt like I'd watched just enough of it now to go, I don't want to watch no more, and turn it off. And just at that point, I don't know how this affected any of you, but just at that point where I'm thinking, I don't want to watch this, and I was ready to turn it off, it changed. And then it went into, now it had my attention. And it wasn't a very long clip, but it got my attention. I found some of it moving. I cried and I laughed. All from one little... Yeah, it did. Sorry, phone went. I think that might be a bit of an issue because that was my son ringing up then. Forgotten what I was talking about now. I do apologise. So when my phone goes and I answer the phone because I'm using my phone to talk to you, then obviously in a bit the docu-trailer. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so that's what I felt. I don't know how anybody else felt, but I felt like I got to that point where I wanted to switch it off, and just at that point where I wanted to switch it off, it changed, just like that, boom, and suddenly I was interested again. So you know, you could sort of be in two minds about what you think about that first bit, but it didn't half make me cringe. And like I say, until I saw it, you know, I had no idea what clips he was going to use. So, hello Ella. So, what clips Matt's intending to use for the rest of it? There's a part of me that's like, oh, you know. I'm thinking, oh, have I ever made the right decision in letting him have free rein? But he's good at what he does, isn't he? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure there's going to be bits in that movie that make me cringe. You know, probably be a few bits in the movie and I think, oh, that was a big mistake. You know, something like me, I mean. But at the end of the day, I'm a great believer in, you got to, you know, if you want someone to show what they can do, you got to give them the rope to show what they can do. You can't do that and then control every minute of it. Tend to register in one go. I don't know what that meant. I get you, but it is an important bit in the story to be told. I guess it is, you know. I have to do a few jobs before I mod for John. Over to Warren, take care in. Thanks, Lorna, very much. Thank you for all that you do. You and Chris, thank you very much. I want to taste some of your cakes that you make. And I've got a great idea. If you're still watching, if you're not, it's all right. I'll talk to you about it later. But I've got a great idea, you and Chris. You know, you could come on, you could do a slot, and you can talk a little bit about coins. You could do your cakes. Show your cake making. And then you can advertise the link to your website and stuff, and people can buy the cakes that they watch you make, which I think is a great idea. How are you now? How are you now? Are these episodes going to continue? What episodes? Is what going to continue? What exactly do you mean, Matt? Your seizures. Oh, I see. Well, I don't know, to be honest, because my seizures have come from nowhere. No one knows what's causing them. Sorry, just putting things in the right places. There's nothing that winds a lady up so much in the kitchen as putting things in the wrong place. Any man that's had washing up duties knows this. It's a very important part of your washing up duties. You've got to put things away in the right place. Otherwise, when she makes the dinner, you're liable to get something thrown at you. So, will they continue? They've been going on now for... I never realised it, but my first one was at the age of 16. And I never realised that that was a seizure until I was about 45. I hope they don't. I hope I never have another one, to be honest. Pardon me. But you just don't know, do you? It's almost like a tummy ache. You hope you're never going to get another one, but you absolutely know you will. You know, at some point, you're going to get, why have they done that? The sender did not pay the full postage. See, I get that. I get it all the time. I get it all the time. But I get it mostly from people that will send something as a large and they'll just put a normal first class stamp on it. I can't tell you how many times I get that. It's just a large envelope. It's not overweight or anything like that. It's just a large, but it's too thick for the slot to be classed as first class, because it has to fit that little tiny slot. And so, because people put a bloody first class stamp on it, it's now underpriced. And it costs the receiver like an extra couple of quid. Right, confirm whether it's you. Can someone else confirm that, or do I need to? Someone's trying to sign in. So you're saying you don't know the underlying cause of your seizures? No, mate. No. Okay, so Ian Holland. Thank you, Angela. I'll have a look at that. Oh, you've done it. Thank you, John. No, that's the thing, you see, and that's why my seizures, in case, you know, there's going to be, no matter how many times I explain it, there's going to be people that will go, what's the matter with you? Why have you got your seizures on video on your YouTube channel? You know, are you sick? It's like, yeah, I am sick, but not in the way that you might think. It's just that I got Fran to video the seizures, and the only reason I got Fran to video the seizures was because we were trying to explain the seizures, and we're trying to explain the seizures, and the doctor didn't know, you know. Me and Fran were finding that really weird. It's like, well, wait a minute, how can we be explaining, you know, and there's not only me trying to explain the seizures in my inimitable way, but also Fran, who's a nurse. So she's used to hospital talk and all the big long words that you and I don't understand in the medical profession type thing. She understands all that. So she's trying to explain to the doctor, in her words, not getting it, you know. They're understanding about the seizures and all the rest of it, but they're not getting why. And it's not. It wasn't a simple thing. So they started putting me on medication, seizure medication, and the medication that they put me on didn't make any difference. So they changed the medication. They give me other medication, then they give me other medication, and they up the medication. And no matter what medication they gave me, it didn't seem to make any difference. And so found a Holiday Inn in Bedford with pets allowed. That might do it nicely. Thank you, Angela. He's having one of his lazy barks. This means he's upstairs, he's noticed somebody outside, and he's just woofing to let me know. But he gets lazy every now and again. His job is to come down to the door and wait at the door while we answer the door and woof and let us know. He's got a bit lazy lately, and he'll go woof, 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 but he ain't moved. Can't be bothered. It's almost like he knows who it is. Woof, 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 it's the postman. You don't need me to come downstairs. Woof, 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 it's this person. You don't need me to come downstairs. And yet, funny enough, when there's a stranger, like a stranger you don't recognise, he's at the front door so fast he's like a ferret up a drain pipe. Funny. yeah, so where was I? So tried different medications, all that kind of stuff. That didn't work. Then we went through the sleep deprivation. That was when I listed all my 2p coins. I went to the bank. I got, I don't know how much I got. I can't remember now. 60 quid, 80 quid. I don't know what it was, but it was a shed load, right, of 2p coins. And I literally sat there all day. Me and John were doing the 2p coins. And then in the, when John went, I carried on doing the £2 coins, and I carried on doing them all night. Then Fran went to bed, and I carried on doing them, and I carried on doing them and stayed awake all night till, well, all the way around to the morning to my appointment at the hospital. So I went to the hospital absolutely knackered. My body should have been completely stressed out, deprived of sleep, all the rest of it, working all night long, and hooked me up to the machines and all of that. Nothing. Not a bloody thing. So that didn't work. And so then we started, and at the sort of same time, because he didn't know what they were, I said to Fran, look, if I feel one come on, I'll tell you quick. And if you can, set up the video. Well, we had a few false alarms. I felt a bit funny, and we set it up. Nothing. And then we did it a couple of times, and it worked. You know, she'd start videoing me, and then the feeling was right, and I went into a seizure. And the thing is, when I know I'm going into a seizure, I've got like probably 20 or 30 seconds notice, maybe something like that. I'll get this feeling, and I know. I don't know what, I can't explain it, but I just know. And so we got a couple of the videos, and then we took the videos down to the doctors and showed him the videos and said, yeah, this is the seizure I'm having, expecting the doctor to naturally go, oh yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, that's, yeah, I saw old Mrs. Johnson. She had seizures like that. Or, you know, this bloke I used to see 2 years ago, he had seizures just like that, and they were caused by eating carrots. I don't know. And then I could go, oh, all right, I'll try not eating carrots then for a while, you know, or whatever, to be able to say something. And he took one look at it. He said, I've never seen anything like it before. Now, that's not exactly what you want to hear from a seizure doctor, is it? I've never seen anything like it before. It's like, well, Christ on a bike. You must have seen a lot of seizures, and you haven't seen anything like this. No. Okay, what else can I do then? So all they can do is keep referring me. But then I got ill. Dragged on with the referrals. I was supposed to go to this big fancy hospital somewhere. Can't remember where it is now, but it's a big place where they go for that kind of stuff. And that appointment never came through, and then I got ill. We got busy, and then I got ill. So what I did was I uploaded the seizures that I had on at the time, and I put them onto YouTube in the hope that one day somebody would see it and go, I recognise that, and then they would get in touch. So far, I think over 2,000 people have seen it, or seen a couple of them, and no one's ever got in touch to say that's similar to the seizures I have. The first person that's ever said to me in all these years that they have a seizure similar is Lorna. No one's ever said that they've seen or whatever anything similar to that. So me and Lorna need to have some chats, obviously. Maybe Lorna's got an idea of what it is that's causing them for her, and then I can look at that, you know. But I don't know if it's, you know, I can't say that it's looking at the screen and having the screen flicker, because I was sat in a chair having a conversation to a nurse the last time one happened, which is only the second time I've had one in front of somebody. The last time I had one in front of somebody was John. John and his wife came round for dinner when we first started doing the coins, and literally got a dinner in front of me, and it's like, oh, lovely dinner, and it was one of my favourites as well, and I'm like about to tuck into it, and suddenly I feel a bit funny, and I went, oh, I feel a bit funny. 30 seconds later I was having a seizure. Boom. But you just never know. Found some doggy daycare places in Bedford. I wouldn't have him with, I can take the dog with me to my dad's. I wouldn't put him in a kennel or anywhere where he's going to be. I don't trust him. Not anymore. That's a terrible thing to say, really, because I'm putting everybody in the same bracket, and that's not right. That's not fair. But the last time I won't put Casper in a kennels. Two winter scarves from America. Oh, you got paid 23 quid. I really appreciate that, Angela. Thank you. Because if there's nothing else, you know, to go straight to like a Holiday Inn or something like that allows pets is a great alternative. Because we're not going to be there all day. We'll be going out with a dog. We won't be leaving him in the room. So it's only about having somewhere to stay. But I'm not the only person who has these issues. Blimey, there's a lot of people got worse issues than me. Well, yeah, look at my dad for a start. He was the first person to actually put money into the coins. The first and the only person that would believe in me when nobody else would at that time. You know, when I say nobody else would, obviously I'm talking about people that knew me and so on. You know, and he saw the potential and helped. Hello, John Benson. How are you, mate? Nice to see you. I'm just filling in for a couple of hours, John, because the Butch and Non-Con were on when I woke up this morning, and I just happened to turn it on at that moment, and they were literally talking about, I think it was at 10 o'clock. Yeah, maybe at 10 o'clock, and they were saying they just couldn't keep going for another 2 hours, and we didn't have anybody coming on for 2 hours. So I thought, okay, I'll dive on quick then while I'm getting ready. I was getting dressed at the time. So if you watch the video from the beginning, all you see is me getting dressed. But I thought it would be a shame after 4 days. Has it been 4 days or something? We've been live now for something like 100 and, my guess is 120 odd hours, something like that. About 4 days solid, barring 1 hour. Ian, do you and the team do regular coin hunts? We do some. You know, this week we picked up 4 bags of 50p's, 2 bags of 10p's. The 2 bags of 10p's are second hand, and I've done 1 bag rubbish, and the other bag looks like a bag of rubbish. We've got 4 bags of 50p's, and it wasn't worth looking through because they were all brand new. Found a puddle duck and 5 Olympics so far. Well, if you've done that out of 1 bag, Ron, you've done well, mate. You used to almost be able to guarantee at least half a dozen Olympics out of every £250 bag. No, that's from 2 bags. Yeah, you used to be able to guarantee half a dozen from every bag, and something like a WWF or something decent. But now it's so much harder. And there are coins that I've been talking to you about for the last couple of years that are going to go up in value literally over the next year or so. Do you have the rest of the day covered? Bungle collects coins. Yeah, I Bungle. They're struggling on 5 to 8. And I was going to have my creative writing guy around, Stuart, CJ Naive he's going to be, because he knows bugger all about coins. Knows a lot about everything else. Blow your mind with some of the stuff that he knows, but he knows naff all about coins. So we've got a gap between 5 and 8, and I can't do between 5 and 8. I was going to talk to you, Warren, but obviously I'm talking to you now. So I can't do the 5 to 8 with Stuart as I was hoping to do, or even 5 till 6 I can't do as I was hoping to do. So I'm just going to have some chill time with him when he comes round and talk to him. Is that the guy in the yellow suit? Yeah. Yeah. What he's got, amazing what he's got up here. Absolutely amazing. Knows nothing about coins. Doesn't know one coin from another. But yeah, so if you fancy that, and I've been trying to explain to everybody about if they've got more than one device, to put 2 devices on and stream one through Facebook. You've done Facebook now. When you came off, 453 views you had in just after your coin hunt, you know, and you don't get that on one of our videos when you've uploaded it on YouTube. Not for a 20-minute, half-hour live video, you don't. We get those hits, excuse me, but we don't get them immediately. And you had them immediately. You know, there's a lot of views missing out there. It's only because we're chasing the numbers. We're all chasing numbers on YouTube. But of course, people forget that people forget about Facebook. Hello, Francis. Nice to see you. I wouldn't send him to the shop to get me a £1 coin to get me a 10p mix up then. No. No. Bungle can do 5 till 6. Hey, that's handy. That'd be good. That'd be good, Bungle. You got another bag you need doing, because I think they might even have 5 till 6 available tomorrow. You're going to try and do a double stream as well, one through YouTube and one through Facebook. Five to 6 Bungle. And if anyone else can do between 6 and 8, that would be great. Hello, Susan. And Lee, hello, mate. So Warren could do with a day off. I mean, he's done a lot. He's done an awful lot, really. Phenomenal amount. John's on 12 till 5. Bungle's going to be on... Wow, there's a big gap there. Bungle's going to be on 5 till 6. And now we've got 6 till 12 free. And we've been going for 4 days now, non-stop. So it would be a real shame now. Let's see what I can do. All right, mate. I mean, I just use my phone and my iPad. I ain't got anything else, so that's what I use, to put one on my phone and one on the iPad. I think I had YouTube on my phone and Facebook on my iPad. Obviously, I will fill in, but would like someone else to have a bash. Yeah, I know you will, Warren. But obviously it would also be just as good for you to not, and maybe have a little bit of time off. So if there's anybody that can help between 6 and 12, that would be phenomenal. because it really, you know, we don't want to. Well, now's the time, I suppose. Everybody's thinking, oh, we don't want to break the stream. Like me this morning, you know, I only came on because I could see the stream was going to get broken for 2 hours, and it's like, oh, really? You know, these guys, they've got matchsticks holding their eyes up. They can't do anymore, so let's just go on for 2 hours and keep it going, as it were. Thank you, Bungle. See you later, mate. What about Stevie B and RJ Coins? Could they step in? Sue, what are you doing later? Susan Donaldson, what are you doing later? Fancy coming on and doing a bit? If you don't fancy having your face on camera too much, get a couple of masks on. But you did brilliant the other night. I saw you with Scott. Ah, all right then. I've posted in the CJ chat, so hopefully someone will come forward. Yeah, that'd be brilliant if they can. Let me know, obviously, throughout the day. Send me a text if you get any of the hours covered, so that I at least know in case I can't, because I doubt I'm going to be keeping any eye on the streams today. So send me a text and let me know as and when you've got anything covered, so I know what's not covered all the time. And then, I mean, depending if I end up going up on a run to, you know, if we end up driving up that way tonight or something like that, then I could even do it in the car. If there isn't anybody else. So, what else to talk about? So, I haven't had much chance to say, have I? Thank you very much to everybody. Bloody hell. You know, we beat Royal Mint. We beat the Royal Mint. And Daddy's going to be so chuffed about that when I tell him. There's so much I wanted him to be able to see before he passed away. And unfortunately, because he's gone downhill so fast in the last couple of weeks, and now it's unlikely that he may not even make it a few days. I was on the phone this morning telling Sally I'll be up in the next few days, and she said he may not last that long. The doctor was there to take him into hospital, and he doesn't want to. He wants to die at home. So it is, even though I took it as being really, really urgent, as in days, maybe a week or so, it doesn't sound like he's got that long. So he is going to be chuffed to nuts for me to be able to tell him that we beat the Royal Mint. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if there's one person that knows the way that my life has gone, it's my dad. And he is so proud of me and so proud of everything that's happened and what we've achieved and what you've all done. And he doesn't understand half of it, you know. But the one thing he does understand is there's a lot of people that are backing me up, and therefore that means I'm not just talking rubbish, you know. And that means a lot to him, because, you know, like, you can, I don't know, you can champion various things and nobody pays any notice, and it's not the case in this. You know, we've got that going on, things going on with Change Checker, Westminster, Royal Mint, and all their companies, 2880 Ian Glen, McDade Instant, all of that stuff. All of that stuff's going on. Dad doesn't understand half of it. He understands the basic layman's principles. Someone's interfering with our business, someone won't let us just get on and trade. All the different, you know, he understands the simplicity of things. So, you know, there's no point me trying to explain lots and lots of what's going on. I have to give it to him in serious layman's terms, but there are things I know, and once I tell him that we've just overtaken Change Checker, it's almost like, sounds really corny, but it's like he can die a little bit happier knowing that, not Change Checker, Royal Mint. Won't be able to tell him we overtook Change Checker, but I will be able to tell him we overtook the Royal Mint, and he will be very happy at that. And he'll understand it as well. He doesn't understand what subscriptions are. He doesn't understand the viewers. He doesn't understand YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So he doesn't understand the connotations and the implications of everything. But if I just say to him, like, Dad, think of it as a little bit of a race, there are more people watching our channel than there are watching the Royal Mint channel, he'll understand that. Or if I put it to him in the fact that there's more people watching our TV station than there is watching the Royal Mint's TV station, he'll understand that, if you see what I mean. Ian, your dad will be extremely proud of everything you've achieved and the family you've built. He will. God bless you, Ian. Thinking of love you, boss. Thinking of you, love you, boss. Everybody keeps calling me the boss, but they're doing it without me. So I appreciate it very much, Warren, and I know you'll come in and do whatever needs to be done later on, but it is only fair that we try and give you a bit of time off as well, because the fizzy pop bottle will kick in. I don't care who you are, the fizzy pop bottle will pop in. It will kick in. I've talked to you about the fizzy pop bottle before, haven't I? Thank you, Susan. Have I told you about the fizzy pop bottle? I told you about that? Give me something to talk about if I haven't. Or have I told you all about the fizzy pop bottle? Because it applies to all of you, every single one of you. No? Okay then. What are you doing back anyway? I thought you was busy. Right, fizzy pop bottle. I haven't heard it. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is one for all of you. Each and every single one of you. 22 of you watching. I hope, honestly hope, every single one of you can hear this and listens to this, because it really, really does apply to every single one of you, including you, Kian, at 14 years old. And it applies to my dad at 80 odd. And it applies to me at 56. It applies to John Benson. It applies to Lorna Jones. It applies to each and every one of you. So listen carefully, right? I'm going to teach you something now. And what I'm going to teach you now is so simple to understand and really important for your life, right? And certainly people like you, Warren, you really need to pay attention to this, because this seriously affects you. And the reason I say it seriously affects you, and certainly Lorna, and certainly Chris, is because of the amount of hours that I've noticed that you've all been doing, right? And it ain't easy. I'm seeing the hours that Lorna and Chris are doing, spending on the moderating, and I'm thinking, Christ on a bike, how are they managing to get on with their life sometimes? They've got things to do. So, and I learned this from Fran, because Fran is a psychotherapist. So this is free psychotherapy in a way, but it applies to each and every one of you. So if we So what we've got is a fizzy pop bottle. That is you and your life. And we all get a little bit of stress going on, right? Right now, a little bit of stress for Warren, whether he likes to admit it or not, because he's already said, I'm happy to come in. You go and do what you got to do. I'm happy to come in. I've got that, right? However, a little bit of stress in Warren's life right now, right at this moment, is he needs to get covered between 6 and 12. If he can't get covered between 6 and 12, that means he's going to come in and do it himself. Now, he might be the first person to go, it's all right, Ian, it's no stress. It's not right. Because a little bit of stress has been caused. A little bit of stress has been caused. Now, maybe this morning, he's got up, he can't find his socks. They were there somewhere, can't find them, a little bit of stress has been caused. Maybe he can't find his wallet, he's put his card down, can't find it, a little bit of stress has been caused. Lorna, she spent too long answering a couple of questions and keeping an eye on the chat, and she's burnt her cake. A little bit of stress has been caused. No hardship, I only burnt a few cakes, it's only a couple of bobs in recipe materials, whatever, but still a little bit of stress has been caused and a little bit of fizz going in a pop bottle, right? And that pop bottle's going up and up and up. And it's going up and up and up for all the little bitses and pieces that's going on in your lives. Right, for me at the moment, I've got the stress going on with Dad. I've got the stress with Change Checker. I've got the stress with the Royal Mint. My stresses are different to your stresses, but don't anybody out there try and hoodwink me into believing that you don't have any stress. And Ian, oh poor Ian, he's got shitloads of stress and all on his shoulders, and oh, and it's terrible for him. Every single one of you have got your own issues. Every single one of you. None of you are walking and dancing through life perfect. None of you are walking and dancing through life with absolutely no cares and no troubles whatsoever. Every single one of you has a little bit of fizz. Every single one of you has a little bit of stress. Every day, every week, whatever. Right? And it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And then what happens is, because you've built up all the way to the top, there ain't much room left now. You haven't noticed this, but there ain't much room left. Right? So now all Lorna has to do is take the cakes out of the oven and drop one. That's all she's got to do now, is just drop a cake. Drop a pencil. Anything ridiculously, stupidly, minusculely insignificant. And all of a sudden, there's an eruption. And if it could be two people with each other, suddenly you're having a blazing row. And when you sit back and think about it, what was it that started the row off? I dropped the lighter. Or whatever it was. Something insignificant, poof, and off it goes. And you go from being like this to, if you've ever seen one of those videos of somebody opening a Coke bottle, putting in a Mento, within a second it goes psh, like that. Is that what that is? Mineral water? No, it's not, it's tonic water. But that's what happens. That's the fizzy pop bottle. The fizzy pop bottle is just the everyday stuff that just a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there and so on. And because it's not necessarily handled correctly by us, as we get these little bit of stresses, because we get these little bit of stresses and we just load them on our back. We don't always deal with that little bit of stress fully there and then, haven't got the time, whatever, and put it to bed, and therefore it can go down again. We just load it on, and then we have another bit and it loads on, and we have another bit and it loads on, and we have another bit and it loads on, you know, and suddenly John Benson can't find his glasses, and an ordinary thing that means absolutely nothing, because you know you're going to find them sooner or later, but for that moment, not finding your glasses is enough to just fill the rest of that bottle, and now the top explodes, boof, and off you go. So the fizzy pop bottle is something for each and every one of us, you, me, everybody. It is something that we should all keep in mind as a daily occurrence. It's one of those psychotherapy tips that, you know, you would be paying somebody £70 to £100 an hour for, that would teach you this, and teach you this about what's going on for you personally in your life, right? But this is one of those things that actually applies to everybody, including the bloody psychotherapist that's teaching it to you in the first place. It applies to everybody. Everybody has that fizzy pop bottle inside them, everybody. And every now and again, we let that fizzy pop bottle build up too much, And because we've let it build up too much and we haven't dealt with the issues and sat down and just talked about it with whoever we need to talk about it to, or fix it, or, you know, because we don't do that, boom. So there's one for you. Used to be blowing my top over nothing. Yeah, you see, that's my top blew the other day. Yeah, you know, and this is why. It's just me taking that information that would ordinarily be explained to you in a different way and just putting it across in a way that even the youngest or the oldest or the slowest or the fastest of us can understand, really. You know, applies to you as well, Kian. You're only 14, but it applies to you as well, because you'll have those moments. You'll have those moments at school or at home or whatever, and, you know, suddenly you're, I know you are a child, but in a way, suddenly you're acting like a child. Suddenly you're acting up, just like adults suddenly act like children and blow their top and blow a fuse. And you look at them and you think, what? But Mum, all he did was drop a cake on the floor. What's going on? You know, and suddenly she could kill everybody in the room. Do you know what I mean? You think, whoa, what happened there? But that's all it is. And me, and I'm 16. Well, there you go. You know, we all think that we can be calm. A lot of people, like, you know, I talk on the lives and all the rest of it, and I've said it so many times, a lot of people give me a lot of kudos and all that, and I feel sometimes like I'm put up on a bit of a pedestal, which I'm not really comfortable with, to be honest. It's nice, stroke of the ego and all the rest of it, but the thing about being put up on a pedestal is, you know, the higher you're put up on a pedestal, the further it is to fall, and the harder it hurts when you do fall, because you know you ain't no different to everybody else. Do you know what I mean? But still, even though, you know, people look at me and go, well, Ian deals with it well and Ian's calm and all the rest of it, I am. And I'm more calmer in a situation where I'm more calm in an emergency situation than I am in normal life. If I get hit with all sorts of emergency things going on, I have a capacity to be able to sit back, I'll have a cup of tea, I'll have a smoke, I'll have a think about it, and I start thinking about, okay, what, you know, and I do that very quickly, but not quickly, if you see what I mean. But I'm very good at reacting to stuff, is what I'm trying to say. If I get hit by a train, I call it getting hit by a train in life. You know, you get hit by a train, get sideswiped or whatever, and I'm pretty good at reacting, business, personal, that kind of stuff. But and I can do it in a really cool, calm, collected manner, which surprises a lot of people. And yet, about 3 weeks ago, I absolutely blew my top one day, and it was ridiculous. And I started, and when I look back now on my behaviour on that afternoon, it was like, really, what are you, 56 or 5? You know? And I blew my top over the bin, over the wastebasket. Nothing really important, nothing to get annoyed about, nothing to get upset about, but that was the catalyst for me. That wastebasket was just that little bit, and I hadn't realised it, and here I am talking to you about it, and I hadn't realised it, and I'd let that build up and build up and build up, and I got a psychotherapist on call 24 hours a day. I let it build up and build up and build up and build up, and then that day, that little bit of that, whatever it was, to do with the waste paper basket, that would just fill the rest of the bottle. And I went off like a lunatic. And I still had my staff the next day, so I'm lucky in that respect, you know. But it happens to all of us all of the time, even though we're not realising it. And even though now I've explained it to you and you'll sit there and you'll go, oh yeah, right, I'm going to remember that. That's really good, that is. It's going to be so good, and you're going to remember it so much that, like me, you're still going to be dopey enough to let that bottle build up and build up and build up and build up, drop a cake and do your filbert. Do you know what I mean? Ah, look at that. Cakes. I like my cakes. Cake and a cup of tea. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tasting Lorna and Chris's cakes one day. And I think you should, you know, you've got your own website, haven't you, where you sell your cakes and things? Haven't you? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you said you have. And yet you've never posted up a link. Why not? You should post them up. No, you haven't. Oh, okay. Oh, do you do it like in a physical shop then? More that you don't do mail order, you do it like as a physical shop. Mail order would be interesting. If you've never thought about doing it by mail order, you can sell cakes by mail order. It's just a question of packaging it right. People sell frozen food now by post. You know, you can buy all sorts of things by post. Pardon me. Something to think about. Extra revenue. Put some cakes, here's an idea for you. Put some cake selections together. Right, nice selection of cakes. Make up a nice box full. Photograph that and go like, right, all this lot, boxed, sent to you, delivered, 15 quid or 10 quid or 20 quid or whatever. All this lot together, and you've included the postage on top, priced out your cakes, and then do a parcel, 15 or 20 quid. Make it worth your while making a parcel to go in the post. 2 or 3 cakes in a parcel's no good, but making up a nice big parcel for a family that will last them a week or so. Looks like we've got someone on the later end, so we're now looking for 6 till 9 is what we're looking for next. And now I am absolutely, Steve Fraser's doing 9 till 12. Cheers, Steve. Thank you very much. So I'm absolutely busting now for a Jimmy, and I think John said a little while ago he's ready to come on. So if you're there in the background, John, I'll come off. I suffer panic attacks, anxiety and stress for the last 20 years. The best way I get over it is to tell it to bugger off. It works for me. It is all in the mind. That's what mental health is, all in the mind. But as much as you want to, you can't control it. There are things that come into my mind I wish didn't. Pictures that come into my mind I wish didn't exist. You know, you can't control it in that sense. You think what you think, things come into your mind, ideas come into your mind, thoughts come into your mind. Anyway, so John, you okay? It's not the load that breaks you down, it's how you carry it. Ian, after Christmas we talk about everything. Yep, no worries. If you haven't got a website, I'll even work out a way in which you can use ours. What you can do is you can make some coin cakes, right? If it's coin related, it can go on our website. So what about get creative? You know, everybody makes cakes, and yes, you could come on here and you could offer a box full of cupcakes, you know, just like 2 million other people around the world that are selling cupcakes. But no one's selling a cupcake with a picture of a coin on it, or, you know, a nice big sponge with a picture of with a coin on it, or something, some coin related something. Get thinking. We could then have a category for you on the site and figure out a way for you to be able to sell them on the site. I'd like to get more coin related stuff on the site. All sorts of weird and wacky stuff. That's why I've been wanting people to do their own, have their own products on our site, if it's coin related. Key rings, cufflinks, whatever. All the best for the family and the health. I won't be on next week on my way. No worries. Thanks very much, Matt. Now I've seen you and know you're okay. Oh, bless you, John. Thank you. Have a great weekend, Ian. Thank you very much. Think outside the box. Always think outside the box. Mr. Gamble, are you okay? And just in case he's out of earshot, could you just... Yes. Okay, cool. I'm off then. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it. Thank you, Warren. I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to give Dad the news that we have overtaken the Royal Mint, which is fantastic. So thank you very much to everybody, and see you soon.